Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? Hope you're all doing well. Super excited for this stream this evening because two reasons. One, we have some new Automobilista 2 content to play with, and two, you may have noticed we're not sitting at our desk. For the longest time here at simracing By, we've been using our venerable desk, and it's been serving faithfully all these years. But it has been time now to move away from the desk and progress onto something a little bit more solid, shall we say. We now have, thanks to a good friend of mine, we have an old SimLab GT1, not the Evo version, just the original GT1. So we're on aluminium profile rig at the moment. Everything's bolted on. I have a seat which doesn't swivel every time I move. So super excited to give this a go, and obviously the new content for Automobilista 2. So let's jump into the game, run you through some of the things which have changed and are new for this new update, and we'll go from there. So here we go. Right, let's just turn off the music here. We don't need that anymore. So right, let's just get myself into the sim as well, so I'm with you guys. Okay, first things first, version 1.3 of Automobilista 2. We have new content, obviously, which you've seen from the intro screen there of the VWs. So we've got two new VWs to play with. We have an updated version of the Azure Coast, or Monaco as we know it. We have all sorts going on, really. We've got some other things which are behind the scenes, but most importantly is the physics and force feedback updates as well. So we'll go through that. That applies to all different cars. But before we get into anything else, on the screen you can see all very familiar so far, apart from this top right corner. As you can see, there's this little steering wheel icon and a U1500 number next to my name here. So if you click on that, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the beginnings of ranked multiplayer for Automobilista 2. Now, although a lot of you guys have been really excited about this finally coming, and everyone's been saying, oh, hopefully this is going to revive the online multiplayer experience for Automobilista 2, and yeah, absolutely hope this is going to be right. So lots of things you can see on here. Obviously, you've got lots of stats. You've got your starts, your races completed, your DNFs, all sorts of things on there, wins, podiums, all that kind of detail, which is really cool. You can keep track of all your progress. But also the experiences here. You've got offline, your championship time trials online, and then your focus, whether you do racing or qualifying or engineering, so spending time in the garage as well. So curious to see how this is all going to work. And obviously there's ratings over here, safety rating, progress, all that kind of stuff. So we'll jump into some of that and just see what happens at some point. But that's an exciting new addition for Automobilista 2. So can I get out of here now? There we go. That's better. You can see it now. Hey, Funky, how you doing? New setup, I know. Crazy. Expecting quicker times though. Yeah, I know. Well, good news on that front, because last week we did our top 100 time trial challenges on RaceRoom. I revisited a couple of those since having the rig set up, and the times have dropped. So it should be a bit quicker now. It's nice to be able to have some solid force feedback, which isn't being influenced by sway, and just general consistency from having everything being solid. So super excited for that. So ranked multiplayer, it's new, it's here, it's in its early days, so we'll have to see how that goes. Before we also jump on track, we need to look on the options here. So go to the control side of things. There is, if we go to force feedback, a new type of force feedback. Now, I've been running custom up until this point, but there's this new profile called Default Plus, and I've changed to that. I'm going to give that a good test out now, and that's going to affect obviously all the cars we drive. I haven't changed any of the settings. Excuse me, they're all exactly the same as they were, so there's no differences there in terms of the settings. Only the type of force feedback coming through the wheel. Now we've also been able to ramp up some of the force feedback on my wheel, so we've been playing around with the settings a little bit. So now it's a little bit more detailed, which is awesome. So let's go and have a look then. First of all, let's take it slowly to start off. When I say slowly, I mean slowly. We're in road car spec, essentially, VW. So we've got two to play with. The VW Polo, and the VW Virtus, which I'm assuming is kind of like a Jetta, kind of a similar kind of a setup going on there. Both of which are 129 brake horsepower and running the 6-speed sequential DSG boxes. So not huge horsepower, not massively performance in terms of race car on track. So it should be interesting to try. So we're going to try out the Polo first. Have you deleted your setup folder? Yes, I have. Yes, that is one very key thing to do, is before you do anything else, you've got to delete your tune setups folder, which is in your user data folder on my documents. You go to the game, Automobilista 2, you go to user data, there should be a tuning setups folder. You have to just delete that, and then it'll restart everything again. So yeah, important thing to note. Thank you, Funky, for bringing that up. Hey, Mesoliptic J. Hi, how you doing? So many great things coming to the sim. I'm over excited for the carts. Yes, the Champ car's coming very soon. And the new the American updates, which are coming this week apparently. So yeah, super excited for that. We're going to do another video on that one for sure. Marty's got the drinks out already. He's ready to go. So we're going to test this one out. We're just going to do a quick test day with the Polos and just see what kind of performance we're going to get out of these. We're going to go to Londrina Long, just because these are VW Brazil cars essentially. We have the Polo here in the UK, and I think I've seen a couple of the Jetta type cars around as well, but not many of those. But these are primarily the Brazilian branded versions of these cars, which have obviously been available for about a week or so in the demo version, which you couldn't run alongside the original AMS2. So I've not touched them yet, other than in this bit to do the screenshot earlier on. So here we go. Londrina, good circuit. Now, other point of note here, although these are sequential gearboxes, I am using the paddles obviously, I haven't yet been able to rig up my H-pattern gearbox, so all the cars will be running on sequential until I got that set up, which hopefully won't be very much longer. So we'll be using the paddles from the remainder of this stream. So here we go then. VW Polo, we are in, see if we can look right into the cockpit, so it is road trim, you have everything in there as you'd expect to see in a road car. And this is the TSI version car. I'm not quite sure of the engine size, actually, didn't check that. But here we go. Let's unleash the power of the VW. I reckon this and the rental car might be on for a bit of a run for their money at the moment. Right. Certainly not much in the way of braking performance. Hey Javier. The new Volkswagens are surprisingly fun to drive, even though they make my daily driving seem like a rocket in comparison. And Marty, you're pulling down the update by hotspot, so 5 more hours so you can check it out. Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully this will pass some of the time for you so you can experience it through my voice and hands on the steering wheel for you. Okay, so you reckon the Volkswagens are good, have you? Let's try this out. Third gear seemed to be a bit of a almost a full stop. You kind of go through first and second gear, and then all of a sudden you hit third, and it's like it just doesn't go anywhere. But we're up and running. Down to third gear. Let's get it turned in for the left-hander here. Down to second. Cars all over the place. Not a lot of body roll really. Not a lot of brakes either. There's got to be a certain yeah, there you go, there's that third gear just killing all revs. Well, we weren't expecting massive performance out of this car in terms of straight line speedability, but it is pretty slow. I think the real fun is going to be probably in racing these, I would have thought. You're just looking to drive them on track. Might not be as fun. Try and get it stopped into the... Okay. So me trying to carry as much speed as I could through the first corner there. Ended up carrying way too much for the brakes to handle. So the Polo obviously being a shorter wheelbase than the Virtus. And if that'll bear through in its handling characteristics. So far, I know it's obviously very early days, and not really tried this, but force feedback wise, even though we're on a standard road car, it's quite a good bit of detail actually. You're just going over that curb on the right hand side there, nice amount of vibration through the steering wheel. Moving through the corners, trying to feel the grip of the car. It does seem to be a bit of an improvement. Change down. Road car gearbox wouldn't let me change down too early. Right. Front wheel drive, obviously. The Polo. It's nice to know if something is actually happening when you change to third, or it's just going into its own little world almost. It doesn't go anywhere. I'll just see if that's the same with the Virtus as well. So overall, basically, just a very overall view of this so far. Not going to be for everyone, I admit that. Especially if you can't get it stopped. Okay, let's try the Virtus and just see if that's any different. I don't think it will be, but we'll try it anyway. So yeah, probably not going to be for everybody. The actual car itself to drive, yeah, it's alright. It's just a bit different, I think. Not a great deal of braking performance, but yes, funky. I did switch to the new Default Plus. Yes, so that's going to be the big test of that. Is going to be how it handles with some of the other cars, which we know quite well in terms of how they feel on the wheel. So that's going to be the big test. So I'll try the Virtus as well. Same track. So let's say on here, adjustable turbo, it reckons. Incredible that it's got a pit limiter because it's being a road car and all. But then, I suppose saying that, I have got a limiter on my road car which I can set. So I'm not expecting this to be massively different because underneath it's pretty much the same anyway. Potentially, if anything else, it's going to be a little bit more, what's the word, stable in the corners, just because of that longer wheelbase. You've really got to wait very late to go down a gear. You can't be using the gears to slow the car down because you try and change down to second, it just won't let you. Well, so far, this actually feels to be a little bit nicer than the Polo. But yeah, through that, force feedback wise, got a really good feeling of the car moving around. Reminds me a bit of the Skoda Octavia Cup, if anyone remembers. Yeah, that was one of the mods for rFactor, I think, wasn't it? Back in the day. They were slow, but maybe some close racing action. Yeah, I can imagine these would probably do the same. They'd probably be quite good in a bit of a laugh racing situation. Yeah, so definitely second gear is not the one there. That's why I wasn't going to let me go, because it was just going too quickly. I would just rev it to death. Be interesting how the new FFP affects us G29 peasants. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it'd be an improvement. Even if I was running my old G27, which I had before this Fanatec, I'm sure I would notice the difference as well. So I think it's just down to the overall fidelity, the overall detail of how the force feedback is actually translated through from the tyres through to the wheel. So I'm sure it'd be a difference in whatever wheel you're using to try and drive this thing. Okay, getting a little bit more of a hang of it now, in terms of I got it stopped for turn 1. Don't know whether that's just new sounds. Yeah, I've cut that one. Sorry, race director. Don't know whether there's just new sounds going on, but the curbs seem to be making some nice noises when I run over them. Engage tractor mode in 3rd gear. Chugga, chugga, chugga. Right. Down through the cascading chicane. And down the back straight up to a whopping 135 kilometers an hour in 3rd gear. Not even got anywhere near 5th or 6th yet, I don't think. We'll reserve that for the straight at the Nürburgring. Right, on the brakes. Car moving around a little bit there, going through the quick left-hander. Okay, so probably not the most recognisable changes in terms of force feedback jumping straight into a brand new car. So, what do you say we go and try and find some other cars to drive that we know? See how the force feedback affects those. So, okay, VWs. Driving them on their own, could see them getting quite boring quite quickly. Doing them in a race, yeah, maybe could be quite good fun. We might try a quick AI race and see what happens. I know there've been some AI updates as well, so we'll have a look at that. We'll explore some of that too. So let's try and find something that that we do know and have driven pretty frequently. Let's you know what would be interesting to actually try here. Let's try the G40 Cup, because we know that car. It's a fun one to drive. Let's take it to where should we go? I reckon we go to Walton. Let's go to Walton Park. We'll do the classic version of Walton Park, because that's my favourite version. So we'll try that. This is where the big test is going to be for me, is as to whether this new force feedback is going to be an improvement or different, and how it actually differs to what we were used to with this particular car. I know I've changed things on my wheel anyway, but I have had a play with this prior to the update releasing, so should be able to get a reasonable update as to how this feels. Hey Baraka, how you doing? Good to have you with us. Okay, let's release the Ginetta onto the track. It's alright, I got you. I understood what you want, what you were saying. Welcome along, good to have you with us. Right, first off, force feedback feels quite a bit heavier, so I'm not going to push on at the moment, just kind of moving the wheel around. Yeah, there's a definite extra weight to the wheel. But going through cascades there, I could feel a lot more of the bumps actually. Going down this bumpy back section here, that's what happens. Yeah, lots more kind of jolts on the wheel. Okay, let's push on a little bit more and see what happens when you get towards the limit. Ooh. Bit of oversteer out of the cello wheel hairpin that time round. Don't have to worry about that chicane, because let's be honest, I don't think anyone likes that chicane. Yeah, the Genesis is going to feel like a monster after those two Volkswagens. Yeah, no kidding. We've actually got some pace going on here. What's this? Oh, you know what? It feels really good. You can feel a lot more of what's going on underneath you. Yeah, okay, so through there, you can feel the cars moving around a lot more. You can feel it kind of reaching up to the edge of the grip. Oh, wow. With the oversteer kicking in over the top of Lodge Corner then. Okay, that is a marked difference in terms of driving feel. It actually feels a lot more precise. And it feels a lot more controllable, so you can catch things a little bit easier, I think, because you can feel what's going on underneath you. you feel a lot more connected to the road as well. Not just because of the bumps that you're feeling on the steering wheel as you're going along, but traction levels. Yes, you can feel it go light when the oversteer kicks in, and it's not got the grip that you would normally have because the rear's spinning or sliding. Plenty of pace over the top of the hill in our little Ginetta. We'll have to pick up the pace even more with some faster cars in a bit. Okay, that's pretty impressive actually. I mean, I thought that the AMS2 force feedback was pretty good before, really. It was, you know, very, very respectful and very representative, but this, I think, has taken it another level up in terms of feeling on the road. I mean, this is just a car basically running treaded tyres. It's not even running slicks, but you can feel it moving around a lot more as well, which is very satisfying. Okay, that's good. Right, let's pick up the pace even more now. Let's go and find something a little bit quicker, and probably something with slicks too. So let's go and have a look, see what we can find. Now, I know there's been some physics changes as well, so some of that may have been involved in that, but in terms of what you feel through the wheel, good step forward, very good step forward. Let's try a GT1 car. Specifically, let's try the McLaren F1. We need a bit of space for this thing, I reckon. So, what do you say? Where should we go? Let's take the Silverstone GP. Now, this was one of the cars which was quite heavily hindered by the sticky diff syndrome, which was supposedly worked on by the guys at Riser. So I'm curious to see how this thing drives now. But with the force feedback and all that kind of stuff going on as well, I'm expecting this to be pretty good. So let's see if it meets those expectations. All right, some V12 goodness coming your way very soon. Here we go. We'll pick up the pace slowly as we go. We don't want to just fly out of the pit lane and just go off straight away. Just playing with the throttle, just seeing what it's like on the pickup. Pretty instant power pickup when you put the throttle down. Oh wow, that went in there nicely. That was me being over enthusiastic there, I think. But again, plenty of detail coming through the wheel. And a relatively smooth Silverstone. Still giving me plenty of bumps, but loading up through those fast corners, you can feel the steering wheel go a bit heavier as well, which is what you want because you feel the load through the tyres. Now, because of all these updates and changes that have been made to the physics and the force feedback as well, they are going to be removing, well, wiping the time trial leaderboards, so they're going to be fresh times needing to be laid down on there. So if you're a time trial driver and you've set a really blistering time on top of the leaderboards, I'm sorry, you may well have to do it again. Bit of a lock up into club. Well, I'll tell you what, The last time I drove this car, it felt quite disconnected. Not so now. Okay. It's a bit more lively now. Which is kind of what you expect with these GT1 cars. They're not completely glued to the road all the time, even though they've got quite a bit of aero to them. Doesn't mean that they are on rails, so you'd expect them to move around a little bit. They're picking up the power really early. The back end's trying to come round on you, and I have to come out of the power just to stop it from completely rotating on me. But at the same time, it's really controllable. You need a round rim. Yeah, I do, I know. I really do. Unfortunately, with the only one I have being the Formula rim, you just gotta make do with it. So one day we'll have a round one. I'd love a round wheel as well, but yeah, things are expensive. You can be quite progressive with the throttle actually. When you put it down there, it was just kind of finding the throttle to start off with, just picking it up and then applying it, and then applying a little bit more. Yeah, okay. Oh, hello. Snappy into turn one. There's those sausage curbs again. Right. Well, that's impressive. That actually feels really nice to drive now. Let's try and find another one which we know wasn't great to drive last time. I'm going to jump into this. We've driven this class a few times, and every single time we've driven it, there's been one car that's been better than the other. So every time we've driven this, the M3 has been the car that drove the nicest, and the 190E was a car which, for whatever reason, I could never get on with, and it was never feeling quite right. So let's see if that's changed now. So we'll take this one out, and we'll go to a German track because you got to. We're gonna, let's go to historic Hockenheim, shall we? 2001. What car was that? That was the McLaren F1 GT1 LM. I think I got that in the right order, but yeah, it's the McLaren GT1. Bit of an absolute animal, actually. Good fun to drive that one. I really enjoyed that. So let's see what this one is like then. The 190E. Never quite felt right, but with the way things have gone so far with the new physics updates and the force feedback, let's see if this has turned it around, because I'm really keen, because I do love this car, and I love an E30 as well, but it'd be nice to have an option of another car. Oh, I need my H pattern back. I was reaching for it and it's not there. It feels wrong driving with paddles, but never mind. Sounds good. Right. Let's go and see what this is like. Cold tyres, Phil. Thought it was. Central driving position gave it away. Yes. A bit of a telltale. There we go, down the big straights of Hockenheim. The German touring car legend. Flat out in the fifth. A little bit of a slide out of there that time. And again, really good weighting through the wheel. Some good detail. The old version of Hockenheim is quite bumpy as well, so you're always going to feel a little bit of bumps through the steering wheel on this particular layout. Cars sliding around, and obviously these are just the chicanes and things, so we'll see what it's like in the stadium section when we get to the end of the lap, as to what it's like through more regular type corners. There we go then. 150 marker on the brakes. That's why the GT1 is the perfect car class if you want to drive from the left, right or centre. It's got you covered. Yeah, that's every option possible. Plus you've got a 6-cylinder, a V8 and a V12, so you can take your pick with your engine notes as well. Uh-oh. We saved it. Okay. Car's feeling pretty good. And slidey at the same time. You can really get the back end of this thing around now. Hey Trombley 92. My problem with the 90 DTM cars is when you downshift from high RPM, the wheels don't lock. Mine is very unrealistic. It's better solved in the race room. Yeah, but... Oops. He's reading the comment. It's the first corner. Yes, the 92 cars in race room are very good as well. Thanks. Some of them aren't as good as said as others. But yeah, I know what you mean. So, problem with the downshifting from high RPM not locking up. Let's try and avoid that this time around. See what happens. And a brake. Well, it's definitely a lot more violent and a lot more oversteery than I remember the the Mercedes being, but so far so good. It feels pretty good to drive. And again, there's that connection which I was talking about earlier on with the McLaren. The camber got me. Get back on track, shall we? Yeah, Race Room and AMS2 are definitely my two favourite sims at the moment. Enjoy driving in both of them, they're just so good. And I think, again, the guys at Riser Studio have really pulled it out of the bag, because pretty much every update that we've had from them has been a big step forward for the sim, and this particular one to 1.3, it's no exception. It really is. It actually feels like a very different sim now. Whether that's down to the effect of having a new chassis that I'm running on, or the update itself, but I'm pretty sure most of it is the update. In fact, you can actually balance some of that oversteer out of there that time. Yes! It works, and it drives beautifully. The first corner, the old version of the first corner at Hockenheim, was quite a bit trickier than the modern one. It was more of a corner rather than just hit a point of a curve and then run off to the left, so a bit more driving involved in the first one there. Yeah, you drive R3 and AMS2 as well? Yeah. Good sims, really good titles, and really come of age just recently as well. Okay, happy with that. That's really, really good. That's really, really good. Okay. Well, let's just take another look at something then. So we've covered the new cars. So again, mentioned the VWs. They're they're fine. I mean, they're not everyone's cup of tea, I'm sure, but it's good to have them on the title nonetheless. And I'm sure there's going to be some competitions going on with those in due course as well, so I'll have to keep an eye out for that. So let's have a look at the other bit of new content, which was the new laser scan for Monaco, not Monza, Monaco. So let's find a suitable Monaco vehicle, shall we? Like a kart, super kart. No. Let's do the M1 Pro car, shall we? Let's do that. Azure Circuit 2021 version. So they've had new laser scan data basically, and they've put it together and reworked all of the track layout, etc., to make it more up to date. So let's go see what it's like. Hey Gav, good evening. How's the rig? It is sensational. Thank you very much. Yes, it is. It's really cool. Big difference in terms of driving feel. Even if I am getting a bit of a numb bum already, and I've not long been in it, but we'll be fine. I'll gladly drive through that. Right, M1 Pro car. I know you like this one, Funky. You said try the Classic Mini, but yeah, I think probably approve of the M1 as well. Okay. In pit lane. We can go this way. Alright. Monaco then. Again, not really to everyone's fancy. But a challenging circuit nonetheless, especially in something such as the M1 Pro car. Let's take it nice and easy to start off with. Let's come through Casino Square over the lump. Into the first of the two hairpins. It actually looks like it's been repaved, doesn't it? It's quite dark tarmac. Till we get down here, that's an older bit of tarmac. Ooh, and turned in there. I think I've got a thicker base cushion. Yeah. Or I just need to get some extra padding for myself. Down to the chicane we come. Get it stopped. Nope, we didn't. Straight through we go. Yeah, I know, I got a warning for that one. It's all good. Again, it's criminal driving an M1 Pro car on the paddles, but we'll get it sorted. Oops. Also need to get sorted how wide this thing is. Good drop off into the final corner there. But it looks like a really nice version of Monaco actually. I'm going to explore some more of it down this way. Oh look, that's nice. Nice church down the end there. Let's get back on track, shall we? That wasn't the exploring I was expecting to do, but a nice detour nonetheless. But the track itself looks incredible, doesn't it? I mean, I'm too busy trying to focus on where we're going, but if you just look at all the details around the side of the circuit, I mean, it looks so vibrant, so lively. There's lots going on, lots of little detail everywhere. Very tricky circuit with something like this. Get on the brakes nice and early. Into the tightest of tight hairpins. This point and squirt section. Ooh, found a nice big curve on the inside there. And away we go into the darkness of the tunnel. So double brakes just to make sure we get through the corner in the tunnel there. On the brakes early again. This time we'll try and make the chicane. only just. I mean, who races around here? I mean, really? Try the Beetle. Oh, you made me crash by thinking. Try the Beetle. You guys love it, don't you? You love putting me through this. Yes. Okay, we'll try the Beetle. Oh, that'll be the ultimate test, won't it? Because we know what I'm like with the Fusca. Let's try that, shall we? Copa Fusca, where are you? There you are, you little beauty. Let's take that one out. We'll do it at Monaco again. And yeah. Let's do this. Let's see if we can survive a lap of Monaco driving this thing. This track's amazing in the Gen 2 V10s. Ooh. Yes, we have to give that a go. Now, I know there's been some people mentioning about the Gen 2 V10s and also the Gen 2 Formula Vintages as well, I think it was, saying that they're much better after the update, so we'll definitely have to jump into some of that action, I think. Right! You wonderful piece of technology. Let's go. Time to unleash the beast, which is a VW Beetle. Yeah, uh-oh, you're not wrong. Who knows, it may be fixed. It might be better to drive, it might be more forgiving, it might be less scary. If there's anyone in chat who is not subscribed, then subscribe just to see Phil and a Fusca. Yeah, appreciate that. It's worth a giggle. If you enjoy having a laugh at other people's expenses, then yeah, please do subscribe and watch me try and master this incredible car. There it is. Right, okay. Okay, hang on. Just let's calm down a second because there's something going on here. Copa truck and Monaco, best combination. Spot on, love it. Okay. It'd be nice if they could put the Le Mans track with PC2. Yes, I hope Le Mans will arrive at some point. That would be nice. Okay, the Beetle. Known for having a bit of a wild rear end in terms of trying to control the thing. Ah, Mesolyptic J, thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate that. Great to have you on board as part of the SRB crew. Ooh. So, yeah, the rear end on the Fusca. It's a little bit of a loose cannon, especially when you're trying to come downhill. That's where it really comes into its own. Prior to the update, it would sometimes get to the point where it was just unrecoverable. So, hello, revs. But yeah, you get it sideways and there was just literally no hope of coming back. So far, driving the Fusca, yes, we've had a few little slidey moments going on, but I've managed to recover them. In fact, I've actually been able to have a slide and a drift. So let's push it on a little bit and see what happens. It was the sticky diff all this time. Oh, physics. You see that? You can actually get around that. So there's the rear end coming round on you, but you can apply some opposite lock and fix the issue. Okay, let's not get overexcited because there's one challenge the Fusca needs, and that's Bathurst. That's the one place where it really, that's where it started to become a bit of a thing. So we're going to have to try that at Bathurst. But so far, not quite as deadly. 42 watching Phil about to roll a Fusca. It is if we get a Bathurst, so that's what we're going to do. We've got to prove this myth now. We've set a precedent now saying that the Fusca is going to be an absolute nightmare of a car to drive, and then we can't just come out here now and say, "Oh, it's fixed." So we've got to put this right. So let's go to Bathurst, and let's see if this actually is better. So the key parts where this all actually comes unstuck for us is down the S's. So you come off the top of Skyline, you start weaving downhill, and usually when you get to the first of the left-handers, that's when the back end goes nope and just comes right round and you end up in the wall. So that's where we're going to be looking out for. If I can get that one sorted and semi-stable, then we're on to a winner. So yeah, amazing. Anyway, catching up in you guys' comments. So Mesoleptic J, Le Mans is so hard to get licensed for, but I hope it comes too. And Road America, yes. Hopefully, Road America comes in one of the American packs. That'd be good. Professional Fusca drifter, yes. I don't know about professional. Definitely a drifter, but not professional. Frankie says this is no use. Need to revert to the previous bill. Riser, please don't fix the Fusca. We need it. Hey, GSM Dad. Hello all. Driving that Cobra Fusca is like trying to ride a moody tiger with an itchy man. Yes, normally I would completely agree with you on that one. But let's put the proof in the pudding. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this one as I work my way up Mountain Straight, which will take a while in the Cobra Fusca? Are we going to crash at the S's, or are we going to get through unscathed? Get your comments in now. Hey Tish, can you try how the carts feel maneuver? I can certainly do that, sir. Yes, I will indeed try the carts. Why have they never removed the bump on the run to Mirabeau? It's for secret North Korean command center. I don't know. It just seems to be part of the land, and they just. I mean, it might be to do with the buildings around it. They might not be able to get to it to actually fix it because of foundations, because everything's on top of each other. Could be to do with that. Or I could just be talking rubbish, and they just haven't been bothered to fix it. One of those two. Hey MF3 videos, how are we doing? Greetings from Argentina? How's Argentina today? Good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us. And thank you to everyone who's watching, actually. It's good to have you all with us and exploring this new update of Automobilista 2 together. Thank you for being a part of it. So far, going very well. It'd be even better if I can actually get this Fusca down the hill at Bathurst. Depends how brave you feel, says Funky. Okay. Well, let's be committed, shall we? Let's do this as if I was doing one of my lap time trials around Bathurst. Here it comes. It was almost there, but I survived the first bit though. I think the little off afterwards was mostly to do with going in too fast and maybe downshifting to the wrong gear. Work this one out. After a meeting, I'm getting close to an apex. Ah. Yeah, I'm still trying to find apexes. I have to do a rig tour. Didn't realise you were close to it. Yeah, yeah, J2 I was. It's a bit of a shameful, admission, but it's actually sat next to me now, holding some other bits and pieces. I actually heard the sigh of relief when I unbolted the Fanatec wheel from it, because it went from being as bowing as a 747 to being actually relatively flat. That poor little MDF desk, which was very, very cheap and basic, has gone through a lot of sim racing abuse over the years, and it's been shaken more times than James Bond's Martini, but it's done really well. So, and to actually have an actual sim rig, if you like, just incredible. such a difference. We'll do a video on whether it makes you faster as well. At the moment I'm just kind of tootling around, just exploring the new update and things, but we'll do an actual video to see whether it makes you faster. And I'm of the opinion it probably does, so we'll do a proper test run, and we'll do a rig tour as well, so you can see what we're dealing with here. It's been a bit of an effort trying to get it all set up and things, but not in terms of actually building the thing, but more out of where I'm going to put it and how things are going to be wired up and things like that. So, but it's good to have this now, and it's going to really improve the sim racing feel. Gareth, I remember you at my house clamped to my ironing board. Yeah, the steering wheel. Yeah, we better explain that, hadn't we? So we did an F1 race. We were back in the day running the old F1 2010, I think it was, and we decided it'd be a good idea to both do the same race in this league in the same place. So Gareth was on his usual setup, and because I didn't have any way of bringing anything to to attach my wheel to, we borrowed Gareth's ironing board. So I had the G27 attached to this ironing board. We did this race, and it went remarkably well, actually. Right, let's see if we can survive the S's on the second time through. Well, we survived it. Thankfully, for you guys, it's still just as leery coming downhill. But you can actually get away with it. So there we go. The Fusca. I'm not going to say it's completely fixed, because that would be lying. It's mostly fixed. You can actually drive it and get away with driving it now. But it will still catch you out. Just be aware. So if you ever take the Cobra Fusca out with the new update, you know, be on your toes. That's all I'm saying. That's good. Well, I'm glad that's more usable now, because you know, I want to like it. I want to like driving it, because it's a fun thing to drive. And yeah, that's good. Okay, karts. Epic save. Thanks. It was just like Ski Sundays they threw there, just like right. Okay, karts then. Let's have a look. See what karts we can do here. We're gonna go with. Where can we go with the 1.2.5s? I didn't change the track, did I? So we're going karting 1.2.5 at Bathurst. We'll come out and we'll change it. We've done it once before. Don't need to do it again. 10 out of 10 for stars. Thanks, Frankie. Yeah, probably not the quickest way through there, but quickest way other than crashing, I'll say. Right, let's come out here. Not taking it to Bathurst. We want to give it a fair try over an actual kart track. So we'll go to. Should we go? I like the Ortona kart circuit. I don't know what you guys like, but I really like the Ortona tracks for karting. Where are you? So which variant should we do? I like the one with the chicane at the end. That's really fun. We'll do that one. Do the short version here. Try it out. Now, sticky diff shouldn't affect this kart, because it doesn't have a diff, so we can't blame that for any changes on this one. But the physics updates and the force feedback updates, that's where things are going to be really coming to their own. So I'm curious to see what this is going to be like now, because up until now, I think, as far as karting is concerned, obviously Kartcraft itself, that title, really good for karting. But the karts on rFactor 2, if you're just talking about karts within a general sim racing title, I feel that the rFactor 2 karts are probably some of the best ones out there. And you know, the ones on MS2 were okay. I mean, you could race with them, you could drive them quite nicely, but they didn't quite feel right. So let's see if that's changed. First of all, where am I going? That way, says man in a helmet. I don't blame you wearing a helmet, because you know, it is me coming out of the pit lane here. Anything can happen. Right. All of a sudden sitting very low in the kart. Okay. Just gonna feel our way into this just to see what we're dealing with. The thing with karts, they're very much driving in the seat of your pants, and obviously I don't feel that because I don't have motion, but at the same time you do feel through the wheel a lot of movement. So the steering should be quick and very responsive. The back end should be lively, especially on the brakes, because it's very easy to lock the rear axle, causing the back to step out. So far, the karts feel a bit more positive. What I mean by positive, meaning that you actually feel like you have some form of influence over what's going on, whereas before it used to get quite wobbly when you were driving these things. There's the ever-present issue of sliding too much and then losing all momentum. Okay, get off the grass. So far, karts do feel better. Everything comes up at you very quickly on this short circuit, but most of the time that's always the case when you're racing karts anyway, so not driving particularly well at the moment, I must be honest, but yeah, those curves really do get you, so you've got to try and stay off them if you can. But yeah, that driving feel that we've been talking about with some of the other cars that we've driven already so far this evening, in terms of actually feeling the tarmac underneath you, also translates across to these karts as well. So you have a greater feel of the road under the tyres. It's just not driving well, but they're still twitchy just like they were. But I do think they actually feel a bit better to drive. Let's catch up with you guys on here. So, GSM Dell, I have an old Fanatec tubular metal rig. The seat I swear has the products, various repairs and bits cobbled together on my own fare in confident and a button box on a wooden store. That's cool. That's the big thing about sim racing though, isn't it? You can adapt, you can update and battle and tinker and mess around with and all sorts, so the joy of sim racing is the fact that no two rigs are the same. Javier says, pit crew lets a sigh of relief when they see you coming out of the pits in something else other than the Tusker. Oops, get off that kid. Yes. Although, judging by my driving in the car, I think they're probably just as scared with that one. But yeah, it's a very wise decision of the pit crew to wear a helmet. This is an interesting decision for people driving karts to wear hands devices, but it's a question for another day. Let's try and neaten things up. It says having a massive oversteer moment. The thing with karting, you've got to be really smooth. I know you can really chuck a kart into a corner, but being smooth does pay off. Yeah, but definitely does feel like it's actually stuck to the road a lot more as well. So yeah, no, that's good. I'll put it out there that the karts do feel better than they did. Whether that's just down to force feedback, I'm not entirely sure what the physics updates have done in terms of karts. I'll have to have a look back through the release notes to check that, but it does feel better. So I bought Kartcraft and think AMS2 karts are actually better, but it was nice to support a young Aussie dev team at the time. Yeah, no, it is. I mean, Kartcraft's come along a long way as well. It's improving all the time. I like the customization aspect of that. It's really quite cool. Okay, so karts are good. What else? Oh yeah, we wanted to try the Gen 2 Formula Vintages. So that's the Brabham BT26A and the Lotus 49 and the two generic models as well. So we'll take the 49 just because it's just a beautiful piece of kit. We won't take it to a kart track because that's probably going to be too much. So let's take it to some classic location. Let's go to Kyalami, shall we? Let's go do the historic version of Kyalami. Actually, no, sorry. I'm going to do historic Spielberg. Yeah. Good timing, Funky. Will you be giving the vintage F1 cars a go? Yes, we will. And here it is. We're going to be giving this one a try. Again, missing my H pattern, but I'm sure this would be just as much fun, even without. But yeah, these cars, so I felt there were a lot of understeer going on when driving these last PB2. There was a lot of understeer going on with these particular cars at the time. So I'm curious to see what this is going to be like to drive in comparison to last time we drove them. And obviously this circuit here is nice and flowing as well, so you get to really see how they react. I mean, these cars in real life, they don't have a lot of grip in terms of tires, mechanical grip. Have very, very limited aero. So most of the time you see the drivers back in the day just kind of balancing the cars through the corners, a little bit of oversteer, like a nice neutral kind of a slide through the corners, sometimes a little bit more than that. But they were kind of made to move around a little bit, so they need to be forgiving on the limit and being able to kind of balance the car through a corner. So let's just see if that's going to be the case now. I mean, there's just, you look at the tire tread on these radials, and they just fill you with emotions. It's so cool to see. I love it. Just the inner geek coming out of me. Right, DFV time in our Lotus. Rear end already trying to come round on us. So we head up to the hairpin here. Get on the brakes nice and early, make sure we get ourselves stopped here. Again, we're just going to pick up the pace nice and easy. Not going to go too mad straight out of the box. All they're saying about one of those nice gentle drifts. Something very satisfying about driving historic cars. Heel and toe downshifting doesn't quite feel the same when you're not using your H pattern, but that's a little bit too quick into there. I always get that one wrong. It's quite a tricky corner, that one. And again, always quite easy to go too quick into that right-hander. So again, there's still an element of understeer there, but not chronic like it was. And as you can see already, even though I'm not really pushing on too much, there's definitely a lot more controllable movement from the rear end. That's what you want to do. I know I'm off the track a little bit there, but I was able to cure some of the understeer by applying some of the right foot, by applying some throttle. And instantly, it really did just kick the rear end out nicely. So I'll do it again here. So it's turning in, it's actually turning in quite nicely. Apply a little bit of power. The rear end comes on quite nicely. Let's try and get these two corners sorted, shall we? Brake a bit earlier than you would normally do because this corner comes up at you very, very quickly indeed. Okay. It's actually feeling more like you'd expect a historic single-seater to drive. You really do kind of throw it around. But there's that forgiveness there, which I mentioned earlier on, is you can throw it into a corner, you can apply a bit of power, but you can just also apply just a small amount of opposite lock, and you can bring it back in line again. Let's try this one once again. Again, probably not the quickest way around, but oh, this is so good. This is so satisfying. Probably not third gear through there, potentially. I might try second next time round, but when the tyres do grip up though, when you go too far, it does give you a good old snap back in the opposite direction. But again, at this point, I'm getting to all sorts of angles going into some of these corners and coming out of some of these corners, which normally I wouldn't be able to recover it from. And you just can. You know, again, I'm not driving the best in some of these corners, but at the same time, you can get it moving around behind, and you can just control it and bring it back in line again. Now, of course, there's going to be a moment where if you are too exuberant with the throttle or asking it to do way too much, it will get to the point where it just won't be recoverable. But in general, it's much easier to control at and just over the limit. See, again there, I caught the grass going in there, but able to bring it back in line. Oh, these cars are fun now. Just trying to exuberate and exacerbate some of the oversteering moments, just to see what happens. So deliberately threw it into that corner just a little bit too hard, just to see if I could really unsettle it. Okay, if you've driven these cars in Automobilista 2, you probably liked them originally anyway. But if you weren't too sure on them and felt there was something missing, please go try them again. because even in this situation with using paddle shifters, they are so good to just throw around. You could easily spend plenty of laps driving these things around all over the place. Again, caught the grass going in there, able to catch the slide. And there's the grass on the exit. Oh man, okay, I better step away from that. I'm going to try something else. Good news is, Funky, these are so close to being my favourite cars, it needed a little work, I felt. Yeah, okay. I dare say they probably cemented your favourite car status now, I think, if you try that again. It's, yeah, those are really good. That's so cool. Just that forgiveness, as I mentioned, just that ability to just kind of hold it in a slide and just play with the throttle and just watch the car move around. And you can feel it all through the wheel. You can really get a good understanding of what the car's doing underneath you, and that's just, yeah, mega. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so anything else anyone wants to see in terms of how it drives? I mean, the trucks were a little bit funny to drive. Maybe we can try some of those. Someone mentioned, was it the Formula V10 Gen 2s? I think that was it. Give those a go. Where should we take these? Let's go to the Nürburgring. Fast chicane, please. The one we want. Because the slow chicane is just too clumsy. Fast chicane's much better flow. There will be a few hot fixes as Riser catches up with all the physics updates and stuff. Yes, there will be. Thanks, Stephen, for pointing that out as well. Actually, welcome along as well. Yes, they did mention that they're going to be deploying a few hot fixes throughout the week. So stay tuned for some little fixes here and there. I believe sometime middle of this week, the next patch will be out for, not patch, but next pack for the American series, which is Champ Cars and some classic American circuits, Watkins Glen on the list, and Cleveland Street Circuit as well, and one other one which they haven't released which one that is yet. So curious to see what that's going to be. And of course, in the third pack, which is coming probably early next year now, it'll be some oval racing going on as well. So really excited for that. It's going to be fun. Okay, Group C got even faster with the new physics, did it? Managed to beat my best time in time trial by 5 seconds. A serious improvement. Where's that? That's not the Nordschleife, or is that? Let me know where that is. I'm curious to know how much quicker you've managed to go around. If it's a regular kind of length circuit. All right. V10 power, grooved slicks, dead engine. Rev it. I need some revs. Turn the bit box. Let's try again. Okay, we're away. I've been told everyone installs a single-seater Formula 1 car on their first attempt, so yeah. Why make any differences there? Right. V10. Oh, how we miss this noise. Oh, Laguna Seca, wow. That's a big difference on a short circuit like that. We'll have to try Group C then, shall we? Let's do Group C next. Again, just kind of slowly feeling our way around, and then we'll pick up the pace as we go. Oh, that noise. Listen to her. Isn't that good? Just getting a bit carried away going to the rev range then. Sorry. Sorry, under tray. Just taking a few centimeters off my plank. Not even getting up to the red line yet. Right, let's do it now. What a noise. Well, I know this is a big difference from the Fallen Vintage in terms of grip, but it just feels so in tune with the road. It just fires out of the corners. So good, actually. I'm not normally one for driving F1 cars as much, but well, modern ones anyway, or semi-modern ones. But this one feels absolutely amazing. On SteamDB there were new files for Nissan GTR GT3. Ooh. I think we all have a good GTR GT3. That would be a nice addition. Group shit 90s Monza. Yes, yes, thank you. All over that. The best layout of Monza. Okay, so driving this car then. I know we've got traction control kicking in all over the place, but as far as force feedback is concerned, really is very, very impressive. It's a big step forward, I'm going to say, actually, from where it was. Datsun GTR. Love a good Datsun, don't we, Gareth? Up on the curb. Alright. That's kind of stumped me for words, actually. That's a big surprise for me, actually. I didn't think I'd enjoy driving that quite as much as I did there. It's obviously it's very, very fast. There's no getting away from that. It's very, very fast. But you really do get a good understanding of what's going on underneath you, and that is, yeah, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, what are we doing? Group C at Monza. Let's do Sauber and Mercedes. Yeah, let's do. Always turn the wheel and driver off. Or driver arms off. Do you prefer one? It's just for you guys, really, just so it doesn't have nothing there. I mean, I usually have them off as well. So I would normally drive with them off, especially now that I've got the monitor right in front of where the wheel is here. So it's sat really quite nicely so that my hands are right in the right position. So Yeah, I would normally have the driver arms turned off as well, but yeah, it just makes it look a bit better for you guys to see what the arms are doing in game, as well as obviously what I'm waving around here as well. So 1991 Monza, here we go. Sauber Mercedes. This thing is absolute animal. I'm hoping it's going to still be the case. I'm sure it will be. Except now I'll be able to feel exactly how it's going to kill me. I do love these things. Group C cars are just, yeah, incredible. Trolley Pro Lunga subscribed 3 minutes ago. How did I miss that? Welcome. Welcome to the team, guys. It's good to have you joining us and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to us, and you know, the fact that so many of you guys tune in to watch our streams and videos and things, you know, just awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the support. Right, here we go then. Just that low rumble as it kicks in. Okay. Oh, this thing. Right. Let's unleash it. Okay, down to the amazing first corner for Monza. Not words that often get used with turn 1 at Monza. They do in the 90s version. Again, let's try not to go too mad on our outlet. Tyres are still cold. What a great sound this thing makes as well. The overrun noises are incredible. Again, just trying to re-familiarise myself with the 91 layout, because the Lesmo corners are actually different. Even though they're fairly similar, there is a subtle difference there. Oh, there's so many cars that put a smile on your face in AMS2. Really are. And this Group C car is definitely one of them. Right, down towards turn 1, this time at full speed. Okay, let's get this stopped and through here neatly. Use all the curves. What a corner. Well, a series of corners anyway. They need to bring that back. It's just so good. Back end came round on me going into that chicane that time. But luckily for me, the force feedback allowed me to control it. I'm wondering if the changes make it easier to put the power down. Let's see. Yes. There's a short answer to that one. You can get on the power quite hard and quite early, actually. You still have to do a little bit of balancing on it, just because you have ridiculous amounts of power going out through the rear wheels. But once you've found that traction, which is there, with the big rear tyres, you can get the power down quite hard and quite early, so let's try and feed it in a bit quicker through the chicane here. Maybe it's the new FFB, but Group C feels a bit easier to tame. I always found the the Group C cars have been quite straightforward to drive even before the update. It's the first car I struggle with, but the Group C cars tended to be okay, leery, but at the same time fairly easy to get around a circuit. But yeah, you definitely just can't just mash the throttle and expect it to take off out of the corners. You still got to drive it with some degree of finesse. Especially if you're going to ride curbs like that. Went in a little bit too quickly that time, and a bit of a wobble halfway around, but was able to bring it back under control again, which is nice. Okay, once again through the amazing first section. What do you mean I cut the corner? No chance. Okay, maybe a little. Well, there's that downshift locking going on there. Finesse. Yes, finesse is required. Hey, Azaris. I didn't have finesse when I ended that particular lap there, but okay, Group C cars, again, just as awesome as Group C is. What I'm going to show you now, I'm going to have a quick look at the multiplayer side of things, because that will be different to how you may have seen it previously. Have they changed the AI in this update or the next one? Yes, there are some AI updates as well. So we'll do some AI racing next, and I'll show you that. But before we do that, I'm going to show you the multiplayer lobby. So I'm going to go through its usual process of searching for an online session to join and populate the server list in front of us here. But when it does, you'll notice a big difference. So we said at the early start of the early part of the stream, we have it on the top right-hand corner here. That number U1500, U1500. Now I'm assuming that's down to some form of rating. So here you've got, next to whatever car class is being used in that particular session, you've actually got whether they're using ranking or not by the looks of things here. So you've got off on some of them, others have different U number ratings. So what I think that relates to is the the actual standards that you can limit a certain session to. So I haven't seen any kind of official in terms of riser specific servers on there. I can't see anything on there, but what it does mean that if you go into one of these sessions which has one of those U numbers on it, I'm guessing at this point, they haven't really released any information on it, but I'm guessing at this point that's going to count towards your online rating. So if you're racing in one of those particular servers, then you'll be able to have not only cleaner racing, because everyone's going to be looking after their ratings and things as they go into those servers, but hopefully you'll be able to increase your own personal rating as well. So that'll all be revealed fairly soon, I'm sure, because the guys at Riser are going to be releasing some information on that. But early days, brand new to the title, and an exciting one as well. I mean, as you can see, look, I know this is release day for a new update, but look how many people are online. Go all the way down here. There's still people, even if it's just one person there. But that's a fair number of servers with at least one person on it, and some of them have got reasonable numbers on them as well. So if it does the trick in actually raising the number of people online, all for it. It'd be amazing. It'd be so good. We've had some really good online community races with people who had good full grids and some fun races as well. So if we can improve that and get more people online racing and using the server rating systems as well, then that'd be really good. So one to keep an eye out for, and we'll do some of that. Javier, yes, good point. they have made AI tweaks, and you can now manually edit the AI personalities in the XML file. So you can create your own custom AI essentially. So you can rename the drivers. You can decide on what kind of skill level they are in terms of, say, qualifying or racing or whatever it may be, and their aggressiveness, all that kind of stuff. Their confidence as well, I think, is another attribute you can change. It does mean editing a text file, so it's not the most user-friendly experience to do it. But if you are confident in editing text files, there's a full run-through of how to do it on the Riser forums, so go check that out as well. But it's quite cool because you can actually, you know, you can actually put your own things in there. So, for example, if you're a modder and you like making custom liveries for certain things or whatever, I know there's a lot of F1 liveries based around like the 90s or the V12s and things like that. But now what that means is when you do that, you can actually supply an XML file which has the correct driver names on. So you'd have Mansell on there, you'd have Schumacher on there, and all that kind of thing. You could edit all the individual properties and make the names correct rather than just being the right livery, but with regular non-known names in there. So that's quite a cool little feature, and something I'm sure the community is going to use quite a bit going forward. So let's have a look then. Let's do something with AI then, shall we? Let's do, what should we do? What shall we drive? Let's try the Porsche Cup cars, because I never really, again, there's another car I never really got on with very well. So let's see how this drives with the new updates. I'm going to go with this nice yellow and black one. That looks cool. So we'll run that. We'll run the same class. Fine. Just going to jump straight into a race and just see what happens. Where should we go? Let's do Spa, shall we? 2020 Spa. See what happens. First look at AI with the new update. Be curious to see how they drive. Beforehand, they were quite good. I actually enjoyed driving against the AI on AMS2. You can actually have a reasonable race with them as well. Sometimes you go to certain tracks and they'll be a really good match for you and you can have a really good race with them, and then you go to a different track on the same settings, but they're just that little bit slower. There's certain corner combos they just don't quite get on with. So it's trying to get that consistency across each circuit, which I think they've been working on. We're going to be starting P2 here. I've put it on random position, but we're starting right at the front. So let's see what happens here. First of all, we're trying the new car and feedback. And second of all, we're trying the AI as well. Ooh, hello. It's aggressive. Down towards Eau Rouge we go. Whoa, okay. No, there's still just as much understeer in this thing. As we go backwards down the Camel Straight. Again, trying to feed our way into the car just to try and see how it drives. AI seem to be having a reasonable battle with each other. Got a fair few stutters going on though. I don't know quite why that is. We've got 26 cars, but wouldn't normally have that many stutters. I don't know whether that's just because the AI is a little bit more detailed now. The yellow one's having slidey issues. Very different kind of car to drive. This Cup car. definitely very floaty on the front end, but that may just be how the cars are. It's very juddery actually. The AI are taking different lines going into here as well. So far we're kind of keeping up with them after our initial fallback down the straight. But they are massively quicker through our rouge. I can't keep that kind of pace through there because it just floats off the track. Look at this guy going for a move at the inside. It's brave. So it may well be that I need to adjust the aggression settings after that first corner incident, because the leader just came right across and cut me off, but seems to have settled down a little bit now. K Martin 802 got a sub. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Kind of missed the first part of the piff path there. So you got a sub from me, buddy? Oh, thanks so much. Been playing this a lot today. The cars feel so good. They certainly do. I mean, okay, I'm kind of getting a little bit more used to this Porsche now. Still don't quite have our rouge right, but at the same time, everywhere else it feels pretty good. Tell you what though, you have to try and sort out some of those stutters, because it feels a bit unsmooth, a bit juddery. Gotta run on the inside here though. Ooh, excuse me, coming through, sorry. What AI setting? Hey Carl, what AI settings are you running? I'm running, I think they're on 96%. I'm not sure what the aggression settings are on. I'll have to have a look at that in a moment. But yeah, running these this many cars on track beforehand, it wasn't having this much. That's really quite bad actually. Okay, let's just let's try and adjust that. Don't worry, Matt. It's fine. It's all right. I distract myself by looking at chat while driving, and it doesn't always end very well. But it's all part of the fun for you guys, eh? It's all fine. Let's have a look at the AI settings for you. Yeah, so 50% aggression, 96% skill level. Let's drop that down to. Let's just drop that down to 20 and see if that makes a difference there. Save that. We'll choose another car just because find something a bit different to drive, shall we? Should we just really test the AI and let's go Cobra trucks? Do it. I quite like the Iveco actually. Quite cool, so I'm going to go with that. Let's go to a Brazilian circuit. Speaking of that, let's actually do Brasilia Outer, one of my favourite ones. It's very simple, but it's really fun, actually. Let's do that. Got 20 trucks on, which we do. And let's try again, see if we can actually get some smoothness going on here. I think it might just be because of the number of cars on track at the time. Spar's a bit of a performance hit anyway, but It was quite jittery, that. I hope it would not be quite as bad as that, because we have had it really smooth. It's been running really nicely up until this update, so hopefully that's just something that can be fixed on a hotfix. Alright, trucks. Engage second gear off the line. And we're away. Got a good start. Keeping everyone behind us. Yeah, this is smoother now. I think it might have just been because we had too many cars. Just about missed the bridge. So let's see what these trucks are like then. Still got that understeer. But you can still get them sideways as well. If you have time, try one on the Opalas. Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that next. We've got AI aggression up to 85. Okay. Yep. You find that works okay. Turn. Again, jumping from vehicle to vehicle, because I can't really say car to car, but it just takes a little bit of a time to adapt. Let's try and find an apex, shall we? Well, it's not there. Well, despite getting the jump on the start, they're still with me. Definitely have to drive these things with the throttle. They are fun. I do enjoy driving the trucks. You've been running 100 diff and 50 to 60 aggression. 100 difficulty is fast. It is fast. The racing's been clean on V2, haven't been tried 1.3 yet. I have noticed it's probably gone a little bit more aggressive, but you can always dial that down again. Still haven't made that apex. So far 85 AI is doing good. That's good. I jumped from the TSI Volkswagens into the Group C to quickly learn how to respect the loud pedal again. Very different cars to jump between. Uh-oh. Speaking of jumping, I was about to jump the fence. Managed to keep it in bounds though. Front left's having a hammering, obviously, being this particular circuit layout. Done. Came out of it. For me at least, they don't punt me off or anything. That's good. Yeah, Volkswagens are very different to everything else. They make the trucks look fast. In fact, they almost make the rental carts look fast. But it's just a very different type of car, that's all. But again, force feedback wise, no complaints whatsoever driving these trucks because we are feeling the road and we're feeling the slip and the curbs. Somehow we managed to pull away from the pack. Don't know how that happened. Okay, last lap. Let's try and see if we can make the apex at turn 2. There's all the curb on the exit. Right, this time we're going to slow down, Phil. There it is. Just that slow sideways action which you get driving one of the trucks. Coming off that bump back there, nice little bit of feedback actually. Turn. Because there's that little bit of a bump, so you come off the camber, you come round it, and then it just kind of crests over a little lump in the road. And that was quite clearly communicated through the force feedback. Yeah, the tyres are wearing very quick. It's only a 5-lap race, only 4 corners or 5 corners on the lap, but it's still wearing out very quick and getting very hot too. Okay. Well, I didn't see much of the AI in that one, but at least we know the trucks work. So we'll do some Opalas next for you, Funky. I try the C9 when it was released. I ended up starting in second gear and dropping all the gear ratios as low as they would go, just to keep it pointing in the right direction. Just for any kind of control. Please, just give me something to work with. Right, Opalas. Any preference, Funky, on Opala? Any of them? C3R. Okay. Yeah, well, we can do this. Loads of time, yeah. We'll keep trying all these cars because I'm curious as much as you guys are to find out what they're like, so definitely. Opalas. Where are they? Here they are. So the old stocks, which are just rock and roll. The 79s and then the 86s. What should we go with? Let's try the 86 cars, shall we? The blind excellent. Okay, cool. We'll run with this one. And we'll also do, since driving at 2 streams back now, I think it is, we'll also do the historic Interlagos. Where's it gone? There. We'll do that one. I drove the Opalas around here as well. This was the 79 one we drove around here last time. We'll try the 86 cars and see how they go. You know, it requires a lot of patience and smooth inputs, but it's super satisfying to drive once you get the hang of it, and the turbo sounds are addicting. Yes, yes, all the sounds in that C9 are very good. But I'm quite partial to that Porsche as well, though. I think that sounds really nice. But sounds in general on AMS2 are, pretty good, really. Right. We've stuck us right up the front again. Straight 6 action. Not the greatest of starts, as per usual, but we're up and running. Just trying the outside line there. Come on, guys, let's go. Get our space on the inside there. That's right, we'll just hang back. Bit of a hurry up nudge, come on. Again, this might be an example of needing to put the AI strength up a little bit. Come on. Again, good level of detail through the wheel. Go for a move at the inside here, shall we? Did find there was a fair amount of what almost feels like clutch slip sometimes driving these cars. But so far so good. Cars feel nice, actually. Yep, cars feels good. Oops. Don't have to go quite that slow for the last corner, maybe. Okay. Lloyd of Lloyd Hall, how you doing? Enjoying Racing recently, using the NSU and the 235i. Both great cars. Wanting to try something new that would be a good step up but not a huge jump. If you like touring car type stuff like those, I would recommend the Group A touring cars. Or something like the old school DTM cars. So not necessarily, the 92 cars are great too, but the 95 to 2001 cars, they're quite a bit quicker, but they're really good. So I think what else there is now. TCRs are pretty good. They're front-wheel drive, a bit different to those two that you mentioned, so if you're not a front-wheel drive fan, you'll probably hate them. But what else have we got? The trainer cars off to my left there, leaving them way behind. Well, I guess we can confirm actually at this point that the AI still needs some adjustment from track to track and car to car. You can't just leave it at the same skill level and expect it to work everywhere at the moment, but that's okay. We can work with it. But yeah, Lloyd, I'd definitely say Group A cars. Group A touring cars are good fun for some rear-wheel drive action. And they get used quite frequently in the ranked servers and sometimes in the hot lap competitions as well. So let's checking that into there that time. Feel the back end came round. But again, you can control it out of the corner, so if nothing else, I think the new physics updates, which they've been working on specifically with tyres in mind, what they have been able to achieve is create a good amount of second not good, a good amount of tyre slip feel, because you can actually really feel better now what's going on with the tyres. So if you are throwing it into a corner, you will feel the car moving around beneath you, but at the same time you're able to, you know, manhandle it back into the line, so to speak. So if I Scandinavian flick it into turn 1, you can catch it, and again give it a bit of a harsh treatment turning into turn 2. That won't result in a bit of understeer, but the wheel is constantly trying to give you all the information you can get. Very bumpy down this back straight here, moving around quite a bit. Give them a try and keep my patience in check. I have a habit of quitting too quickly. Okay, give it a try in the test drive mode. See what you think of them before you. If you haven't bought them or haven't got them already, then do test drive them and see what you think before you shell out for them. And I'll have to think as well as to what other ones I can suggest for you guys. Well, seeing as the AI are miles behind, I can say we can probably quite happily say we won that one. Okay, let's see what else we got. Now there's something else, C3R, wasn't there? That's the one we were talking about. Let's have a look at that, shall we? SK Singham's got the magnifying glass out. What's going on here? What's going on? Right. You got the C3R, which is this one. Sure, you don't want me to try the standard one? No, we'll do the C3R. Yeah, this one goes. And let's take this one to. Let's go Laguna Seca, shall we? This will probably come back to bite me, but let's put the opponent skill up to 100. Let's see what happens. Do like this car though. Last time we drove it, good fun, very different. It's always nice to have a good bit of historic content on any title, and this is definitely one which is a favourite. Mark Oliver Paul, welcome along. I'm thinking about staying at iRacing for another year or switch to R3E and AMS2. Can you recommend it? I can recommend anything, whether it's a good recommendation or not. iRacing, okay. I cannot fault iRacing with its competition model. The fact that you can have good organised competition in terms of regular races going out, all that kind of stuff, very, very good. What I will say is keep your horizons broad. I can recommend Race Room. I can recommend Automobilista 2 very highly. I really love it. I've spent a lot of time driving iRacing. I've done a lot of racing on the endurance races as well as the sprint stuff and all that kind of thing in various different cars. And I did enjoy it. It was really good. It's very, very in depth. You've got to really be on the top of your game for every race that you do. You've got to be thinking about what it means for you and other drivers on track as well, because obviously it affects everyone what happens on track, whether you run into someone or whatever. So it's very involved and very engaged, which obviously real motorsport is. But what R3E, what Race Room and Automobilista 2 can offer you is the same level of sim racing enjoyment, but with more of a relaxed twist to it. So you can do the ranked races on Race Room. It still affects people around you, but it doesn't have that same level of serious, I must win at all costs racing going on. So it's more fun in that regard. It doesn't really matter so much. But you can obviously take it as seriously as you want, but for me, Race Room and AMS2 offer that really nice breath of fresh air in the world of sim racing when we have what's been basically a very enthusiastic hobby for many, many years. As soon as things got more serious in terms of esports, and obviously lockdowns helped expand sim racing to its absolute massive roof potential, lots more people have come on board and everything seems to become much more serious. But I think it's important to not lose the roots of sim racing. I'm going a bit of a rant here, but not losing the roots of sim racing being an enjoyable thing for us to do from the comfort of our own home. And for me, with the variety available and the pricing available for these two sims, they really do offer an awful lot. So I'd highly recommend giving both of them a go. Race Room you can give a go for free and try all the cars and everything like that, and you can see what it's like. And it might not be for you, but it might be something you really click with and really enjoy. You can give that a try. AMS2 obviously you have to pay for it straight up, but you know, well worth checking out. Right, this one we're a bit further back in the pack on P14 in our Corvette at Laguna Seca. Let's see what happens here. And away we go. Close the door on us there. Busy going into the wall that's well ahead. Let's do the typical AI first corner thing and just cruise up the inside of everyone. Sorry. Up the inside of that guy as well. What a noise this thing's making, by the way. Snarling V8. The different car types are very good at AMS2. Fun in iRacing is important. Yeah, I mean, again, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing iRacing. I'm not hating on it because it's not what I like. It's definitely got its place and it's very, very good at what it does. But it's very easy to be dragged into the ethos of it needs to be taken to a level of seriousness which takes the fun away from it. So if you can approach it still with a fun intention, then all good. Whoop. Uh-oh. Oh well, back of the grid here we are. AMS2 is only deadly serious when you jump in the Fuscan. Yeah, absolutely. Come on, let's get out of the gravel. So, better use the other cars as brakes as this doesn't have any. Okay. Right, now we have some space. Let's try and sort this car out. Again, the mirror glass in the side there, wobbling away. Excellent build quality. Stop. Okay, getting the hang of it now. It's only taking a lap. And a spin into the gravel. Science of Obliteration, welcome along. I'll read your comment in a moment once I've negotiated the hardest corner in sim racing. When I say negotiated, I mean sliding through it, going in the wrong direction. So I'd recommend R3 anytime. The rank system is nice. People that usually care about there is the account on top. Adaptive AI is absolutely huge and good. Yes, AI in Race Room is very, very good too. Oh, all over the place. John Snell's just subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Sim Racing Bible crew. Hope you are enjoying watching me make an absolute fool of myself trying to drive this Corvette. So we bought AMS2 today, that's good, well done. R3 stuff is completely available, the same for iRacing. Content of nearly... Yeah, iRacing is very expensive once you add everything in. Almost as expensive as my replacement tyres for this Corvette after this race. Look. Hang on a second. Right, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to come out of this. Let's just remove AI for a moment. Let's just go back to a bit of practice so I can try and sort this out without stutters going on, which seems to still be happening. Right, go back. Test A. Not the Salva Mercedes, we want the Corvette. Determined to get this one to behave. We'll do it Laguna Seca again, just because it's very worse. Right. Right. Okay. Yeah. So because you spent so much on iRacing, you feel a lot of pressure to drive there. Yeah. I completely agree. I completely understand that. It does. You kind of feel obliged to be on it because you spent so much on it. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Torture device, that car. It can be, yeah. Hoping you to try and tame it if we can. It cranks over eventually. Right. 125cc kart on Buskerud. We've driven the 125 kart, but we might try one of the other karts, maybe a shifter kart. Oh, Mark, you've subscribed as well. Thank you so much. Subscribers are flying in tonight. You guys are being super kind and super generous. I love the bonnet flex on this thing. He's watching over the top of this huge bonnet scoop and it's just bouncing around all over the place. Tim, welcome Tim. Loving AMS2, as someone who cannot commit to league racing and ACC and don't want to spend on iRacing. Don't want to spend on iRacing, yeah, absolutely, and that's, again, I'm going to say this, it's the great thing about sim racing is the fact that you can do whatever you want to do. Don't feel pressure to do one thing because someone says it's the best, or do another thing because that's supposedly the best thing. You can do whatever you really enjoy driving, and that's what I would encourage is don't ever lose sight of the enjoyment of sim racing. That's what's really important. And if you're enjoying your sim racing, you want to go back and do more of it, and you will love it. And if you enjoy racing in iRacing, or you enjoy racing in rFactor 2, or if you enjoy racing in Live for Speed, whatever it might be, do what you love, because that's the important thing. Yeah, Gaz, I know you absolutely love iRacing, and it does feel good. I mean, I drove it on your Simicube too. It actually, yeah, it feels really good. There's so much detail in the force feedback, and I'm going to retry it again now that I'm set up on a proper rig. So curious to see what difference I can do in terms of force feedback. As I'm making an absolute mess of this Corvette at the moment. Concentrating really, that's the thing. What do you think is coming up in the new USA DLC? So we've got part 2, which is coming up obviously, which has the champ cars. Yeah, even Wreckfest. If you enjoy Wreckfest, great. Sorry, replying to Martin. Yeah, so you've got champ cars coming up from I think late 90s eras. You've got Watkins Glen. We've got Cleveland Street Circuit, plus one other track. I'm not sure if there's another car as well in the next set. But they mentioned Oval coming in part 3, so we might have some kind of stock cars maybe to go along with the champ cars. Well, I don't know. I'm curious to see what else they throw in. As mentioned earlier, I hope they put in Road America, because that is a fun circuit and very significant in the world of American motorsport. I'd also love them to throw in Sonoma, because that's one of my absolute favourite American road courses. I'm a Mario Kart guy myself. Alright, funky. There's a limit, okay? That's true. Have I missed the Datsun? It's not out yet. Someone made mention that it's was in the files, but it's not actually released yet. Although it may have surprised us and actually snuck in there. This Corvette is an animal, and one that requires a lot of concentration, something which I'm not giving it full attention at the moment, so I'll have to revisit that. But regardless of my concentration and ability, the Corvette is good. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. The Corvette is good, and you can feel what's going on, which is not a lot in terms of grip at the front end and braking. Yeah, we need to do breakfast. Yeah, we will. I promise we will. Let's go have a look. Let's make sure it hasn't snuck in. I'm sure it hasn't, but someone would have mentioned by now if it's on there. No, we haven't got it yet. That's okay. I'm sure it's coming. Road Atlanta, yeah, it's another good one. See, yeah, and Sebring as well. Yeah, definitely. There's so many good American tracks, which, yeah, how do you cram those all into into one pack? Found the Ultima surprising. The Ultimas are good. They've always been good, and I'm going to go back and try that now because that's a great call. So we'll do that. Right, Crash Team Racing is better physics. I was thinking more about F1 race stars. I don't know about you. Amazing. Right. Okay, Ultimas. Let's take the Ultimas somewhere fun, and I'm thinking we go. Why can't I see it? There it is. Go Cadwell with the Ultimas. Probably a bad call, but let's go. Let's do it. Oh dear. You guys are funny. Yeah, the Ultimas, excuse me, in the previous versions have always been good fun to drive, so I'm sure that's going to carry across. I mean, everything we've driven this evening so far has felt awesome to drive. So it's good. The Ultima with its unique shaped steering wheel, because it's not entirely round. There's a big bulgy bit at the top, probably so you can see the dash, but very odd. Right. I love the big mirror mounted on the wing there as well. Yeah. Already regretting my decisions. Historical content is a strong point for MS2. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It's got a good mixture of modern and historic, really. I mean, you've got the stock cars of all eras, which are all good. So speaking of which, I might try the latest stock cars out as well, because that's their thing, really, isn't it? Bit of a snapper oversteer coming out of there. Up towards the mountain we go. Hold tight. Ooh, bit of a lock up. We didn't even make the mountain. Okay. Through the never-ending S's. Mark said, I think I'll spend additional money for the season pass. You'll get a fair amount of content for that as well. very solid sounding corner markers. Best corner on the circuit, you really chuck it in over that chicane on the left hand side there. Right, let's try to have a bit more caution going up the mountain this time. That's a mad bit of section, that. This is a great car, isn't it? It's so fun. Mike at 604 has been doing some digging into mods for AMS2. It seems the developers are open to modding. Okay. I've seen a few people out there who've been throwing cars into AMS2. I think mostly from Project Cars 2, actually. Or Project Cars 3, maybe. Yeah, we'll have to see what extent they are open to modding. I'm currently modifying my tread blocks. Well, in fact, I'm probably on slicks. That's fun. That's a fun car. Probably not for that track, but yeah, even so, throwing around there, a good laugh. All right. So someone mentioned karting at Buskerud. Let's go and do that. Let's find a suitable kart to take out there, shall we? Oh, we'll do some rental karting because it's always a laugh, isn't it? Buskerud. We'll do the short circuit just because I really know the long one very well. I know this one a little bit better. So we'll do that. Yeah, so we'll wait and see what extent Rise are open to modding and things. We'll see what happens with that. Be interesting to see if it opens up and people really are able to start modding new content in as well. I think it will just go ballistic. But I think the beauty of AMS2 is that it's just so, I don't know, it's just so well rounded in terms of content. There's so much going on, and it's just all really good quality stuff. So yeah, I love it. Mark, it's getting late. I need to go to bed. Thanks for the help and good night. Oh, welcome. No, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being part of the stream this evening. Have a good rest of your night. But yeah, thank you again for subscribing as well and being part of the team. Right, let's fire up the 4 strokes. The lawnmower engine ticking over. Here we go. Up the hill. Through the chicane. Up to the hairpin. All of a sudden forgotten just how positive the steering is in karts compared to some of the other stuff we've just been driving. It's out of control. Not normally something you'd say about a rental car. Great thing about rental karting is a lot of the circuits are mostly flat out. Carry all the speed up the hill, cut the corner. How did I miss that? Right. Which track? This is Buskerud, which is in Norway. No, it's Buskerud, maybe. But it's one ridiculously cool kart track. Lots of elevation change. Some fun corners. Trying to get used to just how responsive this little thing is. Yeah, well, just about. Right, let's open this corner up a bit more this time. Oh, it's much less drama. off track again. Just love how this plunges downhill there and everything just all of a sudden picks up pace very quickly. Or a car on a hill. Yeah, I can see what you mean with the striped lines on the runoff area there. Yeah, just the control tower at the top here is really cool. Right, straight in the chicane. Backing it into the hairpin. Oh, there's the grass. Poor car would be so much better on the hill. It is quite flat. I know it's got a couple of little bits of gradient, but not much. It would really send your eyes funny though if it was on a hill like this though. I think just all the lines everywhere would just be, you know, mesmerising, even more so. And I'm off. Okay, that feels good. That feels very good. I'm going to throw it around a bit more as well, actually. Wondering how the new updated force feedback feels. Have you tried the new default plus, or do you run custom? Okay, so yeah, we've been running the new default plus force feedback all evening, and it feels really good, really good. I've been using custom up until now, obviously, and I haven't changed any of the actual figures in terms of settings. That's exactly the same as it was before the update. I just changed the force feedback type to default plus, and instantly there's a lot more detail through the wheel. There's much more just general understanding of what the tyres are doing on the tarmac. So really good, really good. It's changed AMS2's driving experience to the next level up. It really has improved. It's a really good update. Loving everything so far. Even the 911, which I was having issues with. Okay. I said I was going to do stock cars, didn't I? So let's do the latest stock cars. Doesn't really matter whether we go Chevy or Toyota. I will go Toyota. Find another suitable Brazilian circuits. Oh, let's do Taruma, shall we? Love Taruma. Better than custom? Yes, I would say so. Yeah, I'll have to do some more back-to-back testing with it just to make sure, but there was a definite noticeable difference when we went to default plus, and yeah, no, I think it's very good indeed. Yeah, super impressed actually. Super impressed. It's another good update from the guys. Not much in the way of new content. I mean, obviously the Volkswagen and then Monaco, which very niche in a way, I suppose. But where the real work's been done is in the back end of the physics and the force feedback. That's where everything's been really noticeably upgraded. This thing sounds awesome. Which way am I going? In left, aren't I? Right. Now these modern stock cars are, well, have been a bit of a handful. Oh, listen to that. My limiter. Oh, they sound awesome. Okay, again, just kind of feeling your way into it a little bit. When I say feeling my way into it a little bit, but I mean obviously throwing it sideways everywhere. Bedtime for me too, says Carl. I'm on a 6-day week this week, but the wheel must be out first thing in the morning. Have a sub and may see you in the multiplayer, which I will start getting to. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Carl. Great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us this evening. I hope you have some good rest and enjoy getting on the sim tomorrow. Right, so Rise will have threads in the next week regarding Force feedback and some other changes and something for us. Okay, cool. There's Carl. So thank you, Carl. Legend. You're all legends. Oop. Running wide. Again, it's still very very leery on the oversteer side of things. But you can feel the car as it gets towards the limit as well. Gonna get sued by Ermin? Why? What have I done? Okay, picking up pace a little bit now with some tyre temperature underneath us. Car's feeling good. Lots of sweeping fast corners here at Taruma. It's almost like a big what's the word? It's a I can't think of the word. Basically, it's like the centripetal circuit on iRacing, big circle where you can go around in a circle and just test the grip levels as you get to certain speeds. Kind of like that. Someone correct me. I had the words just fail me. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, a skid pan. As such, might be a skid pan. Copyright violation of the cringeworthy expression legends in relation to sim racing. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise. But I haven't really watched much of Ermin's stuff, so... Oval, so... Yeah, no, it's not really an oval, it's yeah, it's just like a I know what you mean though. Yeah, oval, you kind of go round and round in fast corners, but no, it's just like a perfectly round circuit with lots of different lanes on it. Definitely likes to get a little bit oversteery out of that hairpin. Was it MS2 who did it in V8 Supercar Series? Reminds me of it, it was a lot of fun. That was on Stock Car Extreme we did that. But yeah, the sounds do sound very, very similar, don't they? That was a lot of fun, that. Good series on Race Department. Consider yourself lucky. Not a fan of Zara's. Again, pushing on a little bit there. But again, you can just pick up the throttle, figure out where the grip is, and then once you realise you have the grip underneath you, then you can apply a little bit more throttle, and off you go. Sliding cars around corners now in Automobilista 2. It was quite enjoyable before, but now it's even more enjoyable because it's just everything just flows seamlessly together, and you can just catch slides so much easier and hold them as well. So, okay, very, very good. Impressive with that as well. Very nice. What pedals am I using? I'm using Logitech Club Sport V3s. I have, now that I've actually been able to bolt them down, before they were sitting on two pieces of profile on the floor and they would tip up if I brake too hard. Now that they're actually bolted to things which are solid and not moving, I've actually been able to wind the load cell up as well. So I'm on about 4 on the position on the load cell, so I've got a bit of a stronger brake pedal as well, so feels good. Feels really good. Omen asked if there are still inherent issues in the Madness engine. Not too many protein shakes, we think. I don't think there's any inherent issues. I mean, we already knew when we went into this with AMS2 that, okay, yes, they're using the Madness engine, which has supposed physics issues, and it wasn't great in Project Cars 2, and therefore it must be a really bad physics engine. But we knew that, you know, the guys at Riser are renowned for their really good quality physics and car handling. So why would they go with something like the Madness engine if that was where their main kind of area of focus was? And they're proving us now with every update that comes out. It feels less and less like Project Cars 2. It feels more and more like its own unique race sim experience, which is really, really good. So yeah, we just need to have some more faith in the guys at Riser, because they will pull through, and I'm confident of that, because they can create masterpieces, and this is already turning into an absolute masterpiece. And it's really, really good. Right, okay. So I reckon one more car that we'll try out, and we'll wrap up our thoughts on the update. So what have we got that we've not tried, which is unique in its own way, which would be useful to try? Let's see. We haven't done any prototypes, so I'm thinking, well, we've done the Group C obviously, but modern stuff. So I'm thinking we try the DPI. Now, the DPI to me, when it was released, felt a little bit odd. In terms of it, just obviously it had grip, it had aero, it had downforce, but it didn't feel quite right. So this would be a good test to find out what it's like to drive. I don't know whether they've made any changes to the physics side of things on this, but even if it's just the force feedback, I'm curious to see how it goes. So the use of humidity in the model is unique to MS2. Next tire temps and such. Yeah, got so much better, and agree it's definitely worlds apart from. Yeah, it is. It's nothing like it now. Really, really, really different. But yeah, that's the great thing about it. It provides everything you need. We have weather, we have seasonality as well. I mean, it's just so well-rounded and so, you know, complete almost. Right, DPI. Someone needs to work on that power unit so it's crank over a bit easier. Okay. Daytona, of course, being a Daytona prototype. The very tricky pit exit at Daytona. Do the kink. Well, initial thoughts already. There's some weight to the wheel. Something which was missing, I feel, earlier on. So again, there's that connection to the road going on, which is really, really good. I mean, something with this much downforce. We're on the banking now. We've got a few bumps going on. Got plenty of fuel. Yeah, we know what happens in Daytona, don't we, go? Yeah, on the banking, you feel the force feedback really load up. Quite sure why we're in second gear going through the bus stop. Just too busy looking at that and missed the curbs. But yeah, when you're going over the banking here now, the steering gets heavier. But when you get to the higher speeds, with the downforce cars like this, you should expect steering to feel a little bit heavier because the car's is being pushed into the ground. It's the International Horseshoe. It's going for a late apex there. And when I say apex, I mean miles away from it. Gearing is quite short because I'm using first and second quite a bit here, but oops, need to slow down a bit more for that. Hulk car smash. That's because we're in green, yeah. There's a big bump right in the middle of that turn there. Almost feels like Brooklands where the car's taking off. Oops, bit of a cut. The bus stop is so tricky here at Daytona, it really is. Okay, take so much speed through it. There's sixth gear. Well, I can happily report the DPI now feels drivable. It was one of the more disappointing areas of the first American pack. Everything else was really, really good, but I always felt that the DPI was a bit of a disappointment. But happily, I can now say that it isn't. Because this car is actually just as good to drive as any other modern day prototype that I've driven in sim racing. There's still an element of slidiness going on, but you can definitely feel an awful lot more through the wheel now. Managed to keep it in bounds to the bus stop this time as well. You see that? Getting used to seeing that message from the race director appearing. It didn't happen this time around. first corner is so difficult because you're coming off the banking at very high speed and then having to get it stopped and deal with the loss of camber on the road. Still not slowing it down for that hairpin though. Seems like a big thumbs up for the update then, says Frankie. Well, how's that? Yeah, it's a big thumbs up for the update. I think it's, yeah, Riser again have done some stellar work on this. Mr. Bond. The smooth talking Mr. Bond, yes. That's right. Yeah, no, honestly, I think this this update, very, very impressed. Very, very good. There we go. Let's wrap up and give our overall thoughts on it. There's some areas which we've not even properly delved into in terms of, say, the multiplayer side of things. It's going to... oh, I haven't got it pulled up on that, it's fine. It's just finished a 50-lap Formula V race. Are you mad? Oh, 50 laps depends. If it's Brasilia 50 laps, it might be okay. That's a long race. Well done. Yeah, Formula V's would probably be quite fun to drive, actually. To give that another go. Came in second. Got hit from behind up against the wall in the last... ah, shame. So, let's wrap up our thoughts on this update then. So we've got a couple of new cars. The TSI Cup cars, which are slow and fairly uneventful. But I'm sure it would be good fun to race with. And they'll serve their own purpose when they come to do their esports competition with them, which I'm sure is on the way as well. So another addition to the sim, something a bit different, and good to have that manufacturer involvement, which they've got with VW on this as well. So that's good and positive news for the guys at Riser. So yeah, super happy with that. The force feedback, I cannot praise it higher enough. It is actually a really big jump up from where it was. For me, it feels much more natural in a way. It feels, as I said, I've mentioned a few times, it has a better connection with the road. You feel the tires moving about on the surface. You feel the weight moving around. You feel the bumps as well, obviously. But it's really a good increase over where it was. The ranking system, I will have to wait and see what happens with that in terms of online. We may have to do some racing and to see where things change and what happens with it. But I'm curious, and I'm glad that it's in there because I'm hoping that it's going to do wonders for the online side of things for AMS2, which should be good. And yeah, just general physics updates. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Really impressed. Kieran, do you get lots of tracks standard, or do you have to buy them like iRacing? You do get a lot of tracks as standard. There's some premium ones which you get as download as DLC, but you do get a fair amount of tracks to start off with, and most of the cars as well. So yeah, AMS2, you do get a good amount of content to start off with. So absolutely, I Formula V and Bathurst still. Sounds like quite a marathon effort to do that. But yeah, so there we go. Initial thoughts on the 1.3 update for AMS2. Very, very good. Worth a try. If you've not tried it yet, give it a go. And if you have tried it, I'm sure you probably love it just as much as I do. It's, yeah, very, very impressive. And I'll be spending some more time on it again just to get used to it more fully. But yeah, very, very good indeed. Well, that just about sums up our our stream for the evening. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's been great to have you on, and great to see your comments as well. I hope you enjoyed our little online review, our live review. I hope it's helped those who maybe haven't tried Formula I was looking at your message, AMS2 up until this point. It's definitely well worth picking up and giving it a go. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. We will catch you all again very soon. We'll do a rig tour. Someone mentioned that, so we'll do a little bit of a video to introduce the new rig to you all and show you what we're working with now, which is a huge step up from where we were. So it's really, really good. What car do you think I should drive first, says Todd? Car I should drive first. Honestly, there's just so many. I can't possibly give you one because they're all that good. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Let's say hang on, I'm gonna have to look at the car list here and just find you one. Copa Fusca. You gotta try the Copa Fusca first. And let me know how you get on, because I found it to be a little easier, but still just as challenging, but you know, easy to handle, shall we say. Give that a go. But yeah, thanks everyone, guys, and we will catch you all very, very soon, and we will see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Have an awesome week. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.